So, very good evening, my dear friends. Today, our eminent resource person, Dr. THIRUNAHARI UGANDHAR sir, Associate Professor, Department of Botany, Kakatiya Government College. Sir is going to take the session in plant systematics. Today, the most important classification of the phylogenetic classification or modern system of classifications. Previously, Sir has clearly explained about the merits and demerits of the and also the complete classification of the Bentham and Hooker classification and introduction and the most expected bits. Sir has clearly explained in previous class. So today, Sir is going to explain the most important area. So we would like to invite Dr. Thirunahari Yugandhar sir. Please welcome sir and share your screen and start your session. Please welcome sir.
One student are waiting, sir. So this session, which are a modern systems of classification. Class, which are Bentham and Hooker classification, but ended classification. Important of the class based on phlogiston, morphological and evolutionary. So these two characters are major important for the studies of the modern system of classification. So this modern system, the ENGLER and PRONTL system of classification, the Adolf ENGLER 1844 to 1930 and Karl PRONTL 1849 or 1893, the two German botanists published in the that is also book, that is also a monumenta work called the De Naturis, also Plagifali in 23 volumes during 1887 to 1889. 1899. This system, which is the phylogenetic relations, means the evolutionary characters, it can after consider the beginning of phylogenetic schemes was not strictly phylogenetic modern sense. It was arrangement of the linear sequence, then starting with the simplest group to the complex, the simplest group of arrangement into the order of progressive complexity. That is, so this system provides a classification and description down to the genus level. So what is the means of the genus, species, genus, family, order, class, also called a kingdom. That is also steps for the course or steps or ranks of the classification. So this description down to the genus level incorporated information on the morphology, anatomy, and geography. Morphology character means morphology means the structure of the root system, leaf, shoot, and also flower. So what are the petals and sepals number, petal shape, petal structure, this sepal structure. This is also morphology. Anatomy, you take the transverse section of the root to stem and leaf. Then the stoop is also still condition, also called a conjoint collateral vascular bundles. Then the root or stem is can based on the epidermal tissue system, cortical tissue system, stellar tissue system. Then American and European scientists were adapted ENGLER and a PRONTL system, but not British scientists. So these were following a Bentham and Hooker system in the light of modification. Produced by Bessie scientists. So it is based on the Eichler system also. Eichler. So this ENGLER and PRONTL both are, which are a classification was proposed by two German botanists. So it was published in 23 volumes, monuments, work. Also denaturally Plangifamilin. So they classified into the entire plant kingdom into the all G2 angiosperm. The Bentham and Hooker is not classified only non-flowering, only flowering. But the Engler and PRONTL was a first scientist to classify the algae to angiosperm classification. So it is a phylogenetic system based on the evolutionary trend. They studies about the 303 families of a flowering plants. But when the menu got 202 families, here is a 303 families. 100 families are more described by Engler and PRONTL classification. The salient features of the Engler and PRONTL is so the most primitive plants are anemophilous, and the most advanced plant is called insect pollinator, entomophily. Endomophil is advanced type character. Then anemophilus is also primitive characters, primitive to advanced. Unisexual plants are primitive and bisexual flowers. The unisexual flowers examples are so that Cocos nissifera, the Borasus prambifera, also called are advanced flowers and originator from the unisexual flowers. In advanced ones, numbers of sepals and petals are increased. The petals number is also got a list, means tri, tetra, penta. That is also. First tri is also got advanced. Then penta is also got a primitive. And the number of petals number is also decrease. Then advance. When increase also got a primitive. That aclamitous flowers are a monoclamitous flowers were considered to be primitive, and those with two oral perianth were distinguished into the sepals and petals are advanced. Only two petals, sepals and petals are separately, which is called a primitive. Then sepals and petals are combined, that is called advanced. Then advanced nature, that is this classification. The female flowers are evolved from the megasporophyll and male from the microsporophyll of gymnosperms. The Kalajogame was considered to the primitive character. Kalajogami. The Kalajo means the pollen grains are entering into the Kalaja, not a microbial. That is Kalajogami. Then Jaigomorphy was considered to be the more advanced than the ectomorphy. Jaigomorphy. Ectomorphy means it can contain into the any part of the flowers to equalabs. Ectomorphic. So do not equalabs, that is got a jaigomorphic. Then epigenes also condition is a more advanced than hypogenes. Then epicarpus is regarded as a primitive character over a syncarpus. It's also primitive and advanced. The primitive means which is also the less number of the or more number of the petals is also primitive. The less number of the petals and sepals are called advanced. So the evolution of angiosperms is regarded as a polyphyletic conditions. So this outline or basic classification. This system is a detail the all groups of plant kingdom up to bacteria, algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms, angiosperms, all groups, pteridophyte. So this system the provide a modern taxonomic keys for identification of the each group of the plants. Then keys means it can be lock open with the use of key. In the same way, any problems of the identification of the bacteria, fungus, also algae and bryophyte, pteridophyte, which can use to the keys are available in this classification. That is phylogenetic. The plant kingdom is divided into the 13 divisions. Division of 1 to 12 deal with a bacteria, algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte. Only 13 division is named as embryophyta siphonogamia. Embryophyta means that is angiosperms live plant. That embryos are formation after 13 division. 1 to 12 division, 1 to 12 division is our primitive group. Then 13 divisions are also called the advanced type of the, which includes the seed plants. It is divided into the two subdivisions, gymnospermae and angiospermae. Then the gymnosperm is also naked oval seeds. Angiospermae is also enclosed the oval seeds. So then the subdivision gymnosperms has been divided into the 7 orders. 7 orders. That is also from the Psychodophiliaceae to Nidales. They were considered to be the primitive. Hence, they were a place before the angiosperms. Before angiosperms, Angiosomes is also got advanced gymnosomes are primitive. From various groups of gymnosomes, angiosomes are evolved into the monocots and dicots. It means that the dicots are advanced, whereas monocots are primitive. This is also important. Basics are outlets, classic outlets points for classification of the ENGLER and PRONTL classification. The subdivision angiosomes are divided into the two classes, monochordodons and dichordodons. This total is 13 divisions. Out of 13 divisions are clearly seen in the angiosomes. Then up to 1 to 12, which are bacteria, algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosomes. But sorry, gymnosomes and angiosomes are then also 13 divisions. The subdivisions, the monocot and dicot linears. Through the system is not phylogenetic, it is a complete sense. Angiosomes are arranged in a ascending series according to the increased complexity and also got elaboration of the new flowers. So this is also one the outlets of the ENGLER PRONTL system of classification. Divisions of a embryophyta siphonogamia. It is division. The two subdivisions are divided. The subdivision 1, gymnospermae, subdivision 2, angiospermae. Then the angiospermae, which also divides the subdivision, also further divides into the two classes. The monocotyledonei, also got dicotyledonei. The monocotyledonei, which have 11 order 45 families. Then dicotyledonei includes 44 orders. 44 orders. But in digot, also further divides into the two acceptals. First one, that is also called a Archiclamidae and Metaclamidae. This Archiclamidae is also called, then also Archiclamidae and also Metaclamidae. These Archiclamidae, which is also correlate petalates and also perianthine single doubles and includes 33 orders and 201 families. Then Metaclamidae, which is also the corolla and gamopetalae, perianth in two vowels includes 11 orders and 57 families. So this is also the total important schematic diagram of outline of the ENGLER and PRONTL system of classification. This system is a basic or a famous type of the evolutionary and also morphologically features. The monocot letters include the 11 orders. So these are all orders are up to advanced to the primitive characters. Pandanalis, Elobe, also called a Turindinalis or Glumiflore, Principes, so Synthene, or Spathiflore, then Farinose, or Liriflore, or Cytomine, or Microspirme. These are 11 order. So these 11 order also digot linears are which divides into the Archiclamidae. These Archiclamidae up to the 15 orders are there. So these 15 orders, 30 orders are there in Archiclamidae, that is called a dicotyledons. Then monocotyledons are 11 orders, which is also this type of the classification is the dicot subclass Metaclamidae, and also this Metaclamidae is further divided to the 10 orders. And so then what is the merits of the ENGLER and PRONTL type of the phylogenetic classification system? It is a phylogenetic system. The plant groups are arranged mostly according in evolutionary affinities. That is the first part. Evolutionary affinities means also got origin developmental characters, means up to chromosome number. Then genetic characters also called primitive to advanced of sequencing studies, that is origin of the classification or evolutionary classification. That is also primitive groups followed by advanced. Primitive means it is also old type, then non-well developed organism. Advanced means well developed organisms. The monocot is also advanced, then dicot means the monocot plants are more number of petals. Monocot has a less number of petals, dicot has a more number of petals. Petals number more, then also called a primitive. The petals number, sepals number less is advanced. Then annual plants is also advanced than perennial plants. That so this system is a classification is a development over ENGLER in many respects. So the system deals with the groups of plant kingdom bacteria, archaea, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Last group of the division, 13th division, is called the gymnosperms and the angiosperms. It provides a modern taxonomic keys for the identification each group of the plant, and the identification is based on the flowering and a morphology character, then evolutionary. So based on the chromosome number, based on the genetical evidence, it can identification of the plant name, that is called the evidence or evidence type of the or phylogenetic system of classification. So the before angiosperm is a very accurate and it is a perfect according to the modern concept of the evolution. The position of the Asteraceae means composite is the last family of dicot is very logical and accurate. Then the composite is also more number and highest number of the plants in composting. It can because is the highest evolution or evolved family in dicot plants. So the position of the Orchidaceae at the end of the monocot is also very accurate, and it is the most evolutionary family of monocot. That is, Orchidaceae family is a more evolutionary than composite family. Then anatomically data were taken into the consideration in this system of classification for the first time. Analytical, so that is anatomical character means take the transverse section of the leaf and arrangement of the vascular bundles. Then arrangements of the xylem and phloem nature based to classification first time by ENGLER and PRONTL. So the large artificial group of Bentham and Hooker system monoclamidae has been completely then also got abolished and the families have been distributed among the related families for the free petals in archiclamidae, free petals and fused petals. Then the free petal is also advanced, and then the fused petals are the free petals is also polypetalae. The fused petal is also gamopetalae, but this discussion took a classification of the then demerits. So these merits are more number of the merits is also 9, but demerits, the monocots have been considered to be the more primitive than dicots. That is also demerit. Monocot means it is also called annual plants, but dicot is more number of the periannual, also biannual plants. Means the primitive plant is also biannual and all periannual plants, then annual plants. That is also nature, which does not correspond to the modern evolutionary evidence. Not relations means the size of the plant is not important. Then production of the seeds also called the fruits are important. The size of the plant is example Boraces plumbifera or Mangifera indica, but not it is also most primitive than Oryza sativum, Triticum vulgare. The Triticum vulgare Oryza sativum is an advanced family, advanced plants. Then the perennial plants, that is called the opinion. So these evidence principles are not accepted in evolutionary scientists. Then the concept of the primitive flowers unisexual, also called eclimidas, is the against the modern concept of the evolutionary, combining eclimidas families with polypetalous families to form a archiclamidae is not. Polypetala is also poly means then also got a 5 petals number also increase, more number is primitive, less number is advanced. That character is also demerit. Then desirable it as it is a result to the formation of the very large group, 33 orders and 206 families are there. Then eclamidae or archiclamidae is also divided into the 33 orders and 206 families. The system is not for much practical utility. It means only practically does not identification keys not available in the flora. That is also demerits. The Bentham and Hooker is which can available to the flora. based on the species level and a general level to easily identification and give the correct name of the specific name based that. But here, Engler and PRONTL does not develop the keys. Only practically, we are all depends on the Bentham and Hooker classification. But only evolutionary level, it can depend on the Engler and PRONTL. Engler and PRONTL. So the Amentiferae and Centosperme placed at the beginning of the analysis. Elobia with negative flowers is placed in between Glumiferae. This is also demerit type. Derivation of bisexual flowers. The bisexual advanced are unisexual. And the unisexual is advanced, then bisexual. The derivation of the dichlamydous flowers perianth in two series from the monoclamydous and perianth in single series is objectionable. But last one, derivation of a endomophily from anemophily. Endemom is attractive flowers. The attractive flowers are primitive, then non-attractive flowers. That is also non-attractive means it is waste of the pigments, but does not waste of the pigments. This is also called a advance. That character base also demerits of this scientists. So these are total the type of the classification systems. What are the comparative table? Bentham and Hooker